What's good, Louie?
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
What's going on, man? How you been?
I'm chilling, Can't
Yo,
complain.
first and foremost, thank you again for agreeing to being on this podcast. As you know, like I started it not too long ago with the intention of just sharing, information and encouragement with people that need it.
Yeah.
When I think about people that need it, it's like people that come from our neighborhoods and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here, excited to talk more about myself, and
I think everybody is a natural at doing it. Everybody can talk about themselves. For the viewers, you've noticed that for the third video, or for this video, there's a whole new setup. So one thing that I've actually been doing is doing podcasting just like in different environments, right? So when you see my other videos, it was over here in this couch. Now we're on this side over here. One of the videos we're at Santos Javier's podcast area. So we're just local, man.
it's good to be flexible, trying to make things work in different ways. It's called adaptability. It's what we do,
100%, and we need to do that. But we started this conversation, but who are you, man? What is your background? What do you do?
Great question. So, just to set it off, Louie, creative content writer for Ting Barnett Studio and Ian Travis Barnett Photography. And that's what I do, man. I'm a writer. My background starts off as me being Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban. Raised here on the south side of Providence, basically my entire life. And through that, I've met a lot of interesting people, done a lot of interesting things, and yeah, it was all at the precipice of figuring out what I wanted to do, and writing just connected me with all these people and all these different things, and that's just been my life, just through middle school, elementary school, high school, somehow, some way connected to writing. Somehow.
So how did you? And by the way, Ting is my mentor. She's MVP.
Shout out.
How did you get into content writing? Like, how did you discover that was like your talent and your gift?
It was as early as elementary school, to be honest. Again, even though I didn't enjoy writing at that age, it was just the manualness of like actually doing it and just figuring it out and just sitting there and filling this blank page with words. It was annoying to me, but as I grew up, it was like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed telling stories. And I was always the teacher's pet, the class example, and like those writing situations where it's like, hey, write an essay about this, that, and the third. Here comes Louie with his A+ material.
You have a lot of haters?
I wouldn't say a lot, but they weren't unnoticeable.
Because I know how it is with teacher's pet, right?
Yeah.
People definitely get a little jelly.
Yeah, a little bit, man. I don't know why. It turned into them not enjoying me and more so like me getting a little bit more social, being a social butterfly, and then just asking for help instead of being like, oh, you're trash, So that's how that connection started too. I don't know. I just got more social.
What content do you like to write about? Like creative content, at least when I think about it,
Yes.
Broad is the word that comes to mind because
That's fair.
you can just choose from just about anything. You
Yeah.
speak, on that topic in a creative way.
Yeah.
So, is there like a specific type of content you like to cover? Like, what kinds of stories do you like to tell?
So as I progress, as you said, it's a very broad kind of genre, I guess you would say. It's a broad skill to have. But I'm really enjoying writing these community stories. People that are just unrecognized or not recognized enough, or, abuela in the back room just, cooking dinner and just feeding like maybe the neighborhood one weekend, like that's just what she does. But people that serve the community, I want to write about them as well. It's like, I don't know, it fulfills me. It's just like, all right, the more people know about these people that are inspiring us behind closed doors, the more like they have to look at where it'll just inspire them to do more themselves,
Yeah.
It's just fun to do that.
And I think just like going off that, that thought process, like it's important to highlight these people, right? Because
Yes, yeah.
when we think about the media right now, we hear about the phrase, if it bleeds, it reads. And unfortunately, the media, in my experience and in my opinion, just share too much negativity. Like it's important to know about what's going around the world, like the crises and cover those topics. But I think equally as important, it is highlighting that mom or that grandmother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's not necessarily, what she's doing is not all glamour, it's not gonna be headlines, but she's doing the actual work, she's putting in work, she's supporting and facilitating growth.
Yes.
And at times it's like every leader has a grandmother, right? Every person that's in whatever position they're at, they have like these parents that
Yes.
are cultivating and developing these leaders that we look up to so much.
They're our first mentors, man. And it's like, having a son myself recently, it's like, I look at him and I'm just like, oh my God, you're an actual human being. You're 2 years old, but you have this personality. And
Is he a writer too?
I've put a pen and some markers in his hand a few times. He seems to kind of like it. He likes the piano a little more. I don't know. So
Okay.
he might be a music kid. He really likes throwing things. I don't know. Either way, different conversation for a different day. But yeah, these parents are just, you know, they're our first mentors, and it's good to talk about them more, because even though we get these acceptance speeches and we get these awards, and it's like, we first talk about these parents that we have as mentors, and that's about it.
Yeah.
They get the quick, oh, thank you, Mom, you're the MVP, you know, like Kevin Durant speech, and it's
Yeah.
like, that's it. What else do we got?
You know, man. And so, you know, you have a kid,
Yes.
right? He's 2 years old. And just to reiterate to the viewers, like, this is why we're doing it. You know,
Yeah.
we're thinking about the future generations. Or you're thinking about your kid, you're thinking about what legacy you want to leave behind, what kind of messages and influence, right? And so, what are some like tips, some insight that you would want to leave behind, or that you would want viewers that might be high schoolers or younger than that viewing? What are some like tips and tricks, some advice you could give them so they can, you know, aspire to achieve more, just like you?
Got it. What personally motivates me, besides my son, obviously, is learning, just the will to want to learn everything. You got to get it through your head that very early on, you got to get it through your head that you will never know everything ever in the world. You will never know everything ever. And it's just put in me where it's like, I just want to learn as much as I can. Because the more I know, the more I can give out, the more I can teach, the more I can mentor, the more I can pass things down and leave things for people, you know. And yeah, no, knowledge is very important, and you know, that's my biggest advice, I think, is just to keep wanting to learn. You're always gonna want to be a sponge. The minute you stop wanting to learn, the minute you get complacent, the minute you let all these other things invade your mind and all these other things invade your calendar, even, it's like, you know.
You can't prioritize. I can't think of any like one leader that, you know, hasn't had like an appetite to learn.
Yeah.
Right. Where something about knowledge and the accumulation of certain types of knowledge kind of just wake you up to certain realities.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you can prioritize and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you learn more about yourself, the more you learn about the world, and the more you know about yourself, the easier it is for you to put your all into what you're trying to do. And that's how I can put my all into my writing, whatever piece it is, whether it's content writing or blog writing or writing a quick bio or even just writing a quick email for somebody. You know, it's like, I know who I am, and I'm learning who I am as a writer every single day. And I just get better, you know.
How can people find your work?
So right now I am working on a project called Heartbeats.
What is that about?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
Yes, that is my baby. It is live right now. It's heartbeatsofri.com. And that's where I'm starting to tell these community stories. I have one story up right now, and just like, you know, basic info on the website itself. But I'll mention it.
We're just trying to find.
Where I am. Okay,
yeah.
yes. So that's one place you can find me, heartbeatsofri.com. There's a contact info in there. Instagram as well, Twitter. I'm very apt on those things, trying to keep in touch with people. My Instagram is Louie the Bee, Louie the Bee, like the insect, and an underscore. Twitter's the same, but without the underscore. So I'm very accessible. I try to be, and you know, that's the easiest way to reach out to people, is like, when they reach to you, reach back.
I mean, if people are giving you energy, it's just good to reciprocate it, right? That's just like that mutual respect. And when's your book gonna come out?
Book, oof.
Hold on. What do you mean book? Oof. Man, you're a writer.
Oof.
Like
that's the thing.
What's up with that?
It's a big topic, because you're right. I am a writer, and it's like, when you say book, I have 7 different ideas in mind already. That's where the oof comes from.
So you're thinking about which one to put out first.
Exactly, or which one to focus on first, for sure. But I have tons of ideas. Like, I'm really into poetry and spoken word, so I definitely want to do one of those kinds of books, at least one. And yeah, no, book on the shelf for now, but
Alright,
always
so-
working.
So you have poetry, that's one of your ideas.
Yeah.
What else you got down the pipeline?
So
Can you share, or is that something that...
honestly, that's about it. I'm just really trying to grow heartbeats. Always trying to grow myself as a poet and a spoken word artist. Always trying to, just make myself accessible and be a mentor as best as I can. Even if it's just one conversation and someone has one question.
Yeah,
You're still a mentor at that moment because they're reaching out to you. But no, just a better me makes better product, and that's what 2022 is looking like for me.
That's what's up. So let's recap,
Yeah.
right? Because you're a dad,
I am.
full-time employee,
That's right.
write content,
Yes.
creative writer, and you have your own personal projects that you're working on, multiple, right? How do you balance all that? Like, what is your mental wellness routine? How do you balance fatherhood with career, with personal entrepreneurship? Because you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Been one a long time.
So how do you balance all of that?
Great question. I've been trying to write things out a lot more and use
Okay.
my calendar. Calendar is my best friend
Yo.
this year in general. My calendar has been used a lot more. So I will lose track. I will. I'll do it. I use my calendar more. I've been writing things down. On my fridge, there's like a, thing of like goals for the month. I refresh that every single month and try to keep track of that too. Since it's at my fridge, it's ready and accessible. I like to eat.
Kind of have to the spot, right?
Exactly. But the biggest thing as well is the support system that I have. With my son, the mother of his child, like she's parent number one for sure. So I have a lot of support there with her. We've been co-parenting and figuring that out, and it's been working very well. As far as family as well, I've been leveraging them even more. Like at least twice a week at this point, I try to just have a phone call, like with an uncle, my mom, anybody in my family, just trying to keep track because if you don't keep track,
I'm Dominican, man.
Yeah, you gotta be there, man. You gotta be
Yeah.
there. And it's holiday season. You just gotta be there. Give your best self at all times. But they've really been helping with my mental health too. With this year, you know how crazy it's been with COVID and all that.
I mean, you know what's crazy? I still feel like 2021 just did not exist.
It happened.
Like, I remember 2020,
Yeah.
COVID happened, right?
Yep.
And it's almost like, excuse me,
You good.
it's almost like a blank thought. Like, I don't know if it's just like my mind trying to put what happened, like, just out of the thought stream.
I
But
agree.
it's gonna be 2022, man. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. We're in December.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What do you see yourself pushing in 2022 with?
Yo, man. So I want to focus on. I want to do more of this. It's something that I've had in mind for a very long time. I think it's a challenge for me to put out my voice, opinions and stuff like that, to promote again people that are doing great work around here. So I'm gonna focus on content creation, things like that. I'm also gonna focus on my career, which is like in the political environment. I want to grow that as well.
Yeah.
So I do have a few different goals. Well, I actually have a lot of goals. I'm the kind
Good to hear.
I'm the kind of person. I do vision boards, man.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
I do vision boards. I do lists. I like to plan out. That's my process, and that's my piece. It's almost like I'm still in school, but I'm not. If that makes sense. I like to format use words, write out ideas.
It goes back to what I said. It's like life is school, dog. We're all if you
That's
stop
true.
learning, you're not moving forward.
That's true. So,
Simple enough.
and those are some of the things that I got going on right now. So, you know what I mean? Just progressing forward. But, Louie, I'm going to let you have the last word. If there's anything else you want to add on or any final thoughts.
I really appreciate music. Music's got me where I am here. Try to represent, hip hop and R&B as much as I can. just I am hip hop. Hip hop is me. Just want to say a lot of thank yous to the Daily Note. Thank yous to Ting and Ian. Thank yous to everyone who supported me so far in my life. And check out some of the cool stuff out there. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff in Rhode Island, man. And I can list them off, but I'm gonna let you figure that out. And we can just have the conversation too if you want to talk about it. So I'm really accessible. Reach out.
All right. So with that being said, we're gonna leave it here. Louie, thank you for willing to participate. It's been great to hear about what you're doing for the community, what you're doing around the community,
Thank you.
and how you're balancing things. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, again, people are gonna get some sort of value out of this.
I hope.
And we're just gonna continue to promote our voices, voices of community advocates and things like that. So, yeah, until next time, man.
Yeah, next time.
All right.
Thank you, bro.